Hi everybody, it's Dr. V. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to go ahead and do your Sacred Love, Twin Flame, Divine Union, Sacred Sidekick, whatever language you use to describe your connection. I'm going to go ahead and do your reading. Before I get started, I'm using the Asps Universe Juice by my friend Carrie over at the Starry Cauldron. I'll post the link below to just prepare the space. You guys, this stuff smells so freaking amazing. I'm not kidding you. Like, I want to spray it like a million times a day, but I don't know. I know I don't need to. So if you want to avail yourself to that, she actually custom blends it for people. So very, very amazing stuff. I'll post a link below. If you want to purchase a private reading, all the information on how to do that is in the description box below. I also think I'm going to delete my Instant Go account. It's being really glitchy, and they changed the platform, and it's just not as user-friendly as it was before, so I think I'm going to do that. You can just, if you want to ask me a question, you can book the rapid reading. It's, 5 minutes, and it gives you a quick overview. So anyway, Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside. I call upon Great Spirit, my ancestors, divine love, archangels, ascended masters, to protect these messages, protect the listener, protect all those who are concerned. May these messages inspire, encourage, transform. And so it is. So I'm going to do things a little different today because I just feel like doing things different. I'm going to pull one card here for the masculine energy and one card for the feminine energy. This is the Mythic Oracle from by Carissa Mulatto. And I'm going to use a different deck to kind of look over the shadow side and the light side of the connection. So let's just get started here. This is the card that I pulled for the masculine energy, which is Heba, play. So you might be wondering, why is the masculine pulling a goddess energy? Well, that's an interesting question. Because the reality is that we all embody both masculine and feminine traits. And so once you get into full inner union, you're able to move effortlessly between your masculine and feminine side. So it's not all that abnormal to see a masculine energy pulling a feminine card, or a feminine pulling a masculine card, because the reality is that inner union is about the inner marriage between the masculine and feminine. So it shows, and it's indicative of some level of balance that the masculines may be coming into. And so this card is about, the message in this card is about learning to enjoy life. And so I feel like a lot of, a lot of masculine energies have been very intense, very focused on life, building their career, building their wealth, building, just really focus on external things, and have forgotten how to have fun. They've forgotten how to play. And really, play is one of the most creative and generative things we can do. It's a way to celebrate life. Having, enjoying life, playing, going out and doing things. And when I mean play, I mean literally playing, not just like going out and partying or anything like that. I'm talking about literally doing things that bring you joy, going to amusement parks, doing fun things that are out, even going to the park and swinging on a swing, but things that kind of get you back into that energy of feeling very playful. And this is also an energy of really liberating the inner child. So for a lot of masculines, they may have been not allowed to have much of a fun childhood. Maybe they had trauma, maybe they had other experiences, or people around them just were like, you need to, man up or toughen up or things like that. And so they lost that inner child spirit. So this is literally saying, look, what Spirit is calling the masculines to do right now is to go play, to lighten up. The dishes will be there tomorrow, the laundry will be there tomorrow. All of your responsibilities are still going to remain. Can you find a way to have fun? Can you find a way to celebrate and honor your life by having fun and enjoying things, instead of always feeling burdened down by what you're supposed to be doing and what you should be doing? So what the feminine is bringing is Helen of Troy, beauty. I love this. This is interesting. So the feminines are really, I feel like this card is saying that, you know, Helen of Troy was obviously, in the mythology, if you're not familiar, was very beautiful. But that beauty was also a source of some, you know, some jealousy and some darkness. Like people, sometimes, where there's this, I don't even remember what it is. People, oh, it's a song, freaking song by Taylor Swift, of all things that's coming to mind. It says people throw rocks at things that shine. And this is, so there is that, like being very beautiful can also bring jealousy and envy, and that was some of what Helen of Troy experienced. But the thing of it is that, you know, being beautiful is not necessarily a physical thing. There are certain, of course, standards of beauty that a lot of people go by, but that's the reality is that that's not always true. I know people who wouldn't meet the, you know, quote unquote conventional standards of beauty that are very beautiful, very radiant, because it's an inner beauty. So the feminines are really in the space, I feel like, of coming into this understanding that maybe you don't fit what traditional standards are. Maybe you're not in a space where you feel like, well, I'm not, you know, 5'11" and 120 pounds, and I don't look like whoever the you know, supermodel du jour is right now, or I'm not this or I'm not that. But you're starting to really appreciate who you are and your own unique aspect of beauty, your own unique characteristics, being like, yeah, maybe I don't meet this standard, but I'm this and I'm that, and really starting to honor and appreciate yourself as a beautiful being, not keeping yourself pinned to some unrealistic standards that other people hold. So this is literally about saying, you don't have to wear makeup to be beautiful. You don't have to do your hair a certain way. You don't have to be young. You can be beautiful by connecting to the beauty within yourself, connecting to universal love, and to being in that space. Okay, and that's what this is about. So the feminines right now are really in a space of appreciating beauty that's not surface level beauty. This is about deep tapping into the depths of the beauty of the soul. And you're probably going to start noticing as you do that, as you start digging into that and start feeling and appreciating your own unique beauty, that you're going to start being more radiant to the people around you. You might start noticing people being like, wow, you look so amazing. Like, what are you doing? And then you'll be like, I don't know, nothing. No skincare regimen. I just feel more confident, and it's going to start radiating out to the world. So very beautiful. Let me move this aside, and I'm going to use the Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish, and I'm going to look at the light side of the connection, and the shadow side first, and then the light side. So we're going to see what shadows are operating within these divine love connections. So the shadow side of the connection right now is farewell to the moon. And appreciate and enjoy the lunar light and the cycles. So what this is about to me is, again, cycles, okay? When we start looking at cycles, the shadow side is that people are not allowing, or they are resisting cycles coming to an end. There may be things that have needed to come to an end for a while. People are just resisting it. They're like, I'm not really sure what, if I want it to come to an end. It's like holding on to things that need to be released. Now, when I say that, a lot of times people might wonder, well, does that mean that I'm letting go of my twin flame connection? It may, for some of you. It may mean that you're ready to move forward in a different direction. What it primarily means is releasing the current cycle of energy. So if you're in separation because of whatever reason, it's releasing that cycle and creating space for the next cycle to begin, whatever that might be. But people might be resisting that. A lot of time, and I get this a lot of people have a lot of resistance to releasing attachments, to releasing expectations, to opening themselves to the mystery. A lot of people are like, well, if we're twin flames, we're meant to be together and we're meant to come back, and that's just how it's got to be. And they hold on to that expectation of this romantic connection coming back together, and then they get stuck in expectations and hope. And this is saying it's time to say farewell to some things. It's time to let some cycles come to an end. Recognize that just like every moon cycle, right? Every month there's a full moon, new moon. It goes in the same predictable cycle. That we have to go with the cycle. We have to go with the flow. You don't have to just go with it. You don't have to resist it, okay? So this is what this card is saying to me. So really about releasing our grasp on things and letting it go. People are having a hard time with that. That's what this shadow side of this connection. And the light side is dreams. It says vivid dreaming, dream messages, and dream teaching. So part of what's happening is that people are having a lot of vivid dreams. I don't know about you, but I have been. I mean, I've been having like crazy, vivid, intense dreams lately. And they're not bad. They're just very illuminating. So I've been getting a lot of information, a lot of downloads in the dream time, a lot of things that are just happening in the dream time. And so that's important. The light side is people are beginning to receive communications through the higher self, through spirit, through dreams. I also think what this is about, what this message is coming through about this card, even though this isn't how it's written in the book, is that people are really, this connection has really awakened a lot of people to the beauty of their dreams. And there may be a whole handful of people who are ready to pursue their dreams in ways that they weren't before. Maybe in the past you thought your dreams were impossible. Maybe in the past you were like, that's never going to happen. I can't imagine that happening. And then now you're like, wow, actually it is happening and I can see the possibility, and people are moving toward their dreams. So the purpose, one of the major purposes that people often miss with a twin flame or a divine love connection is that it really is about helping you transcend and clear away any old programming and old pain stories and so on and so forth, and move toward your mission, move toward purpose. And so if you're in a connection that has pushed you toward fulfilling your dreams and pursuing your dreams, then that's what you're supposed to be doing right now. So it's really, I get really clearly, releasing the attachments to what we think things should look like and pursuing our dreams is going to actually help this connection in a very significant way. The ironic piece is that when you release attachment, when you let go, when you stop holding on or clinging to something, it actually increases the possibility that it can come back to you. And I know that's a paradox, but it is what it is. So pay attention to your dreams. If you're having a lot of dream messages coming through, pay attention, because there's information that's trying to get through. If you don't have a dream journal, get one. Have a dream journal and a pen right by your bed so you can note what is coming through in the dream time. So let's move this aside. We're going to look at the connective energy. This is the Spellcaster Tarot. And I don't remember who the author is. I can look really quick if you give me a second. The Spellcaster Tarot by Melanie Marquise. Alrighty, let's take a peek. The connective energy between the two of you. We've got the Five of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords in reverse. So, just right off the jump, this is a card of people like looking at what's been lost. Very much echoes what I was just talking about, people having a hard time releasing. This is an energy of people looking at things we lost in the fire, so to speak. This is that energy. All these cups are spilled, and so such a bummer. These cups are spilled. I can't see. I still have two left. And that's what it's not a great energy. It's not a great energy to be in, as people might be holding on to things and looking at what they perceive to have been a loss as opposed to what still remains. So if you are in separation with your counterpart and you feel like you're really in a bad space because you quote unquote lost them, you may be missing the fact that, they may not be present in your life right now, but what did they launch in your life? What did they contribute? How did they contribute to your healing? I went to a sacred fire ceremony yesterday, a Native American practice led by one of my cousins, and it was really beautiful. And one of the people there said something, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was essentially that the people that come into our lives that wound us are actually some of our greatest healers and some of our greatest teachers, because they wound us. They couldn't wound us if we weren't already wounded in some way. We wouldn't have attracted them into our lives. And so if they wound us, they're doing sacred service to actually show us the places in us that need to be healed. So If you're in separation and you're feeling like, man, I really wish I had come back into connection with my counterpart. I really wish that this could happen, but you're holding on to them not being present in your life or not being around right now, and holding on to what you feel like you've lost. It's going to be really difficult to be able to see what you gained. And so the energy right now is really Spirit. I feel like Spirit's very, very clearly saying, take a look at what you've gained. Look at how this has transformed your life. Look at how it's made you better. And if it hasn't made you better or transformed your life, look at the reasons why. How are you keeping yourself stuck? What can you learn? What can you gain from this? Because this Knight of Pentacles is somebody who has, it's like, yeah, you've got some stuff, you've got some things, but you're not really feeling all that content. It's like everything, it's like you've got stuff, but you're not really feeling it. There's something is missing. And so people are looking in their lives right now, and it's just this energy of something is missing. So maybe it doesn't look bad on the surface. Maybe you've got like a decent house and, your bills are paid, or maybe not, but it's like you have a lot of things in it, but you're still feeling discontented. You're still feeling like it's not quite what you want. And that energy is still lingering pretty significantly. And we have this Queen of Swords in reverse. So remember, these are the energies that are connecting you. These are the things that the two people in this connection are sharing. Okay, so it's kind of what's between the two of you right now. The Queen of Swords is somebody who feels like a lack of trust. This could suggest the return of somebody that you really love that might come back. So here's the thing. A lot of people ask this question all the time, like, do unions ever really happen? Does it really ever, come to pass? Or are people just, or is it just a fantasy that people are selling? The reality is that I know a ton of people, a ton of twins that have come back into contact and into communication, and that there has been some shared energy. So it is a possibility that there can be reunion. I'm not saying reunion and staying together forever, but people might be able to come back and touch base again and connect. This is also about people kind of losing their resolve. I'm getting this in a sense that people are kind of feeling like, ugh, I don't know if I have enough strength to continue with this. I don't know if I want to continue with this. I don't know if people might just feeling kind of worn out. This journey can be exhausting. So this is also a card of maybe saying, it's time to tap out for now. What's that song? No one to hold them, no one to fold them, right? And so it may be people saying like, maybe it's time to just take a step back for right now. Maybe it's time to just let things be what they are. My counterpart being where they are doing their thing, and I'm going to do my thing, and it's, no big deal. It's just what it is. We're just going to take that time. I'm just going to take some space to take a breath. I posted this on Instagram and on my Facebook page the other day that, we've got, at this point, it's like, I don't know, 50 some days left in the year, about 6-7 weeks, I think. And so it's like literally this energy of like, if you focused on yourself, if you took all the energy that you're putting towards your counterpart, towards yourself, and focused on just one thing, cultivating a meditation practice, studying something, choosing, a series of books to read, changing your dietary habits, electing to go for walks every day, whatever. If you've spent the rest of this year focusing on yourself and not focusing on your counterpart or this connection as much, just focus on your own healing, you can literally shift the entire thing by the end of the year. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are doing right now, really getting into that space. So what is the masculine energy bringing in? Wheel of Fortune in reverse, Two of Wands in reverse, and the Nine of Swords. So this is, again, resisting cycles. Resisting the change. So this is an energy of somebody who's like, I always see this one as like the merry-go-round from when you're little, and it's like spinning, and then someone wants to stop, so they hop off and like drag their feet, dig their heels in while they're holding on to the merry-go-round, and it stops. It just takes a while. I feel like that's what they're doing, like digging their feet in, trying to hold things from shifting. They're just afraid of change. They're afraid of transition and afraid to let go. This Two of Wands is about, again, a deep-rooted dissatisfaction. This is somebody who may just be resigned to their situation. This is someone who is often putting themselves last instead of putting themselves first. The thing of it is that you have to fill your own cup if you're going to fill other people's cup. Like, you can't pour from an empty pitcher. And so, but this person is constantly trying to pour from an empty pitcher. They might be constantly in this space of wanting to take care of everybody else, putting everybody else's needs first. And they're not realizing that in doing that, they're actually doing everybody a disservice, because if you're empty, if your soul isn't fulfilled, you can't really give to other people. You're only giving out of lack. And then you further deplete yourself. Whereas if you're full and you're taken care of and you're feeling abundant, then you can be more of service. And so with this card, this Nine of Swords, this is an energy of sorrow, grief. This is somebody who's just gone through, they've been through some stuff and they're in a lot of pain right now. This is somebody who's being haunted by the past. This is an energy, and I'm really getting that they may have made decisions in the past that caused a lot of pain, that caused a lot of hurt to people, and they're being haunted by it. And part of this resisting cycles is about owning up to the karma, accepting karmic cycles. I feel like they're out here like Neo, trying to block karma. You know how he's like, when he's fighting Agent Smith and he like has his hand up and he's going back and forth. It's like they're really trying to block karma and dealing with the stuff that they need to deal with. And that's contributing to this ongoing dissatisfaction, grief, sorrow, pain. What they're not understanding is that the saying, what you resist persists, is very much true. And they are resisting. The more that they resist the situation, shifting and dealing and paying up their karmic debt, the more that it is going to persist and continue. So what they are not yet understanding is that they need to release and surrender and just kind of accept things as they are. And then things will be allowed to change. So what is the feminine bringing? We have the Magician in reverse, the Chariot, and the Lovers. Beautiful. So the Magician in reverse is interesting. This card in reverse, it can mean a little bit of some kind of manipulative energy. It can mean, you know, some kind of trickster energy. But it's also saying the feminine needs to get off her duff and start taking some action. There's like, take advantage of opportunities. If there are opportunities, if there's inspiration that's striking, if there are things that are coming your way and you had not taken advantage of it, do it. There are things and blessings that want to come your way. Don't waste your talent. Don't waste your time. You know, if you have a plan, or if you don't have a plan for moving forward in your life, it's time to start doing that. This is literally saying, look, you have to redirect your energy. I really get this very strongly. A lot of feminines are focused, really, really focused on, when am I going to come back into union? When is my counterpart going to come back? When is this going to happen? Those kinds of things. And I'm like, I understand it. You know, I get it. I understand that that's a big question. A lot of people want to know that. But at the end of the day, what is really important is to understand that this is not about, the primary purpose of these connections is not about coming back together. It's about you coming into inner union. So I really feel like this card is saying, look, it's time for you to change your focus. It's time for you to not obsess. If you're in an obsessive energy, if you're Facebook stalking or social media stalking your counterpart, if you're always wondering what's going on with them, if you're spending a lot of time or money trying to get readings to figure out what's going on with them, it's focus. What is it about you that needs to heal? The reality is that all of us have some work that we can be doing. That's not a criticism. It's not a bad thing to say, like, there are some things that I need to work on. And so work on that. Work on those energies. Work on what you can heal in yourself. And as you do that, it's going to, you know, help automatically transform this connection, but it's not going to be something that you're doing for the connection. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like a happy byproduct. It's like, what is that? Bob Ross, it's a happy little accident. That's literally what it is. It's a happy little accident. So you do this and you commit to your, you know, changing course and transforming your life for you. And if it benefits your connection, perfect. If not, oh well, at least you're still benefiting your life. Because it's time for action. The Chariot is forward movement. This is balance. You know, this card is a card of balance. You have to be balanced. If you look at that, the Chariot has two wheels. If one of them is broken, it's not going anywhere. So this is a card of being really balanced and taking dynamic forward movement. This is like, you know, as my friend Trish says, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Like, this is time to go. It's go time. Spirit's saying, enough of, you know, wasting your energy and you're putting it, misdirecting it, putting it in other avenues. It's time for you to redirect that energy back to yourself and get going. Because there's something better for you. There's something waiting for you. That doesn't mean that it's not your counterpart. It could be. It could be that you come back together with your counterpart and a truly loving connection. But it could also mean that you find something else, that you have a different direction that you go into. This is about love and connection and community. This is not necessarily about lovers by themselves, like two people together. It could also be friendships and community and coming into a different kind of energy in that same space. But this is just definitely about pursuing your desire and moving toward your desire for this kind of spiritual deep connection. Because at the end of the day, it's like, and I say this all the time, if your counterpart is in a position at the current time where they can't offer that to you, it's senseless to wait. It's senseless to put your life on hold and wait for somebody who's maybe in another commitment or is just not interested or available at this time. It's senseless to put your life on hold and wait for them to come around. There are many, many, many beautiful types of love connections in this lifetime that we can create and we can have. It doesn't necessarily have to be just this one. So it's likely ahead for this connection. Strength in reverse, the world in reverse, and the star. Beautiful. So strength in reverse is interesting. This is, to me, and we have we have 6, 7, and 8 right here. So what that is saying to me, whenever I see numbers that progress that consistently, it's in like progressive, that there is forward movement. People are taking steps forward. So this strength card in reverse is about feeling a little bit of maybe a sense of weakness or some fear, needing greater strength, maybe lacking some willpower. This is somebody who might be feeling overwhelmed. So the prospect of taking steps and moving forward in your life and taking back your power might seem overwhelming. It might seem like it's too much. You might not feel like you have the strength or the wherewithal to do that, but don't give up on yourself. You do. It's tapping into that, trusting yourself, trusting spirit. That's the other thing, is that we don't have to do this on our own. You know, too many people try to do this on their own, where they're like trying to white knuckle it through. And the reality is that we have ancestors and councils and spirit guides and whatnot that are available. All we have to do is ask for help. They won't intervene until we ask for help. So ask for help. You don't have to do this on your own. In fact, some of the greatest strength that we find is when we surrender and allow spirit and the divine to intervene for us. That's why in programs such as AA or NA or other 12-step programs, it's the first step is admitting that you're powerless. Once you admit that you're powerless, then the divine can step in and help, and that's a beautiful space to be. And so we have the world in reverse. This is about, you know, success is ahead. It's like it can't be denied. It might be a little bit delayed though. It's like you're recognizing what's ahead is people are like, I see what's possible. I see what's available. It's just not quite there yet. It's just out of reach. You're like you're tasting it. You're seeing success. You're moving toward it. It's just not quite there. And so you just have to continue to be patient, because the cycle, whatever cycle is needing to complete, has not yet completed. So do your part. You know, do your part. Do what you're supposed to be doing. Meditate. Take care of yourself. Whatever spirit has led you to do. But recognize that sometimes it's just not time, and we just have to be patient and allow things. As long as you're doing your part and you're not just standing around waiting for something or somebody else to do something, you're good. A star, there's hope. There's going to be a dawning of hope is what I'm getting from this. People are going to have an experience of like a spark of hope and inspiration. It's like people are going to start moving out of this energy of feeling maybe stuck or stagnant or sad, and moving toward hope. It's like making a wish upon a star, feeling that childlike innocence and hopefulness again in your life, feeling like, you know what, maybe the things that I thought were possible really are possible, and I can have that, and I just need to start pursuing my own passion and my own dreams. So very beautiful. Let me move this aside. This reading is taking longer than I was hoping for, but such is life. So we're going to look at what's currently blocking the situation. One more shuffle. Every day I'm shuffling. Blocks the curse. Interesting. and the Heart of Sky. The curse says, it's time to recognize the source of your limitations. Did your grandparents live with the mindset of scarcity? Did you inherit genes for heart disease? Were you a slave or master in a past life? This karmic legacy is ready and waiting to be seen, to be untangled, and to be released. Honor the players and their stories. Forgive everyone and everything. Craft a new life course for yourself. Beautiful. So that's pretty much in alignment with what's already come through. So the next block card is the Heart of Sky. It says the Heart of Sky brings you a sacred reminder. You are a channel for the original energy of creation. Become the paintbrush, the canvas, the artist, all guided by the Heart of Sky. Set your intention ethically and clearly, and now allow the universe to take care of the details. So the advice card. Ooh, my favorite. So look, we've got 3 plus 8, which is 11. And then we've got 44, which is 4, 11, 11. Significant numbers. Mystical shaman. The advice from Spirit says, when the mystical shaman appears, you're invited to consider the ability to live without attachment. You are called to create and dream your life, to act on inspiration and divine impulse without fixating on a known story of success or achievement. Can you impartially observe the stories you tell yourself and others? What if you could become a mystery to yourself? Who would you become if you stopped telling the tales that have defined you up until now? You do not have to live in a story that has roots in the past. What if there were no need to explain you to anyone, not even yourself? The way to your most extraordinary life is to become a blank slate and allow the form of your dreams and desires to show up as it will. This is a sign of manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. Beautiful. And then the Sacrifice. I know that some people aren't going to like this message, but it's necessary. The Sacrifice. It says, the sacrifice asks that you offer to Spirit that which is most precious to you. Your offering will be sanctified and returned tenfold. You will be elevated to the altar at which you have been praying and meet the divine at the table with the heavenly feast. You are a welcome guest in this banquet. Your heart is the only worthy offering that you can bring. Life has been generous with you in so many ways. So, really at the end, what that comes down to for me is that people that have been struggling with attachments, struggling to let things go, really need to let that happen. Really need to let that transform. You know, if that, whatever is most sacred to you, if this is that connection, if it's your connection with your counterpart, if it's something that you feel like really attached to and you're not able to hold on, or, you know, you've been struggling to release, it's important that you do that now. That's going to help you in significant ways. So let's move this aside. I'm going to use the True Love Reading Cards by Belinda Grace. True love, you're the one dreaming of. Yes, that is Madonna from the 80s. Baby, I love you. Alrighty. So the love energy connecting the two counterparts. Connection, manifestation, that's amazing, and chivalry. Okay, so connection, it's like people understand, okay? If you're in a true soul connection, people know it, you know? It's like even if they don't use that language, even if that's, you know, soulmate or twin flame or whatever is foreign language to them, they don't understand it, they recognize it. You know, you recognize that type of connection when it happens, even if you don't understand what it's called. So the shared energy right now is that people do recognize this connection. Both people in the connection do. And there's this manifestation. People are understanding that they want to manifest something into their life. They want to start creating and manifesting their abundance in their life. That's the energy that they want to bring in. They want to create the life that they deserve and they desire, as opposed to what they have been handed or what other people have told them they should have. Now, this energy of chivalry is about, for me, chivalry is, you know, it's not I don't look at it in like the old, like sexist kind of ways. This is about being chivalrous with yourself, with others. It's not about just going through the motions, about being kind and gentle and respectful to other people. It's about understanding the balance between masculine and feminine energy, and as an individual, supporting yourself in the masculine and feminine ways, allowing yourself to be, having your inner masculine energy support your inner feminine, and vice versa. And that's what this chivalry is about. It's like, for feminines, allow yourself to receive more chivalry in your life. Masculines, allow yourself to offer more. It doesn't necessarily have to be to your counterpart, but really start practicing what it is to be in that receptive and giving energy, so that you can really manifest that into your life. So what is in the headspace of the person for whom you're listening? The sacred woman, emotional freedom, and serendipity. So they're thinking, the reality is that they may not have said this to you. They may not be like telling you that they see you as this like sacred energy, but at the end of the day, they do. Okay, so this is what this is. The sacred woman is a white buffalo calf woman in the legend, and she, like a warrior, approached her, and they didn't treat her as sacred, and so she struck him down. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure this is all on the camera. This is a person that understands mentally on some level that you, listener, are a sacred being. They recognize that, and that's partly why they're doing what they're doing, why they may be staying away and not being in communication, because they know they're not ready to come to you as the sacred energy that you deserve, and they're not trying to get struck down. They're really thinking about emotional freedom. They might be looking at the ways in which they have been bound, not emotionally free, and wanting to work through that and get free. And they're also seeing signs, serendipity. Your name might be popping up in places that they aren't expecting to see it. They might be seeing things that remind them of you, hearing songs, things like that. And so it's important to just be, they're very aware of it. In their heart space, the rainbow reviver, life purpose, and intimacy. Interesting. So the rainbow reviver is about, this is about someone who's kind of like has to boost themselves up. Okay. This is like, they're feeling a little bit worn down, and so have to give themselves pep talks. It's like that, standing in front of the mirror, and they're like, what is that? You're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you. Like, they're literally having to boost themselves right now. That's just where they are, because things have been difficult. And so they're really in their heart space trying to keep themselves afloat. And they're thinking and they're feeling into their life purpose. Whatever they've been doing up to this point, it might have been fulfilling. It might have been, to an extent, something that they enjoyed, but at the end of the day, they're recognizing that their life has a purpose, and it's bigger than what they've been living, and they're ready to step into that. In their heart space, they want intimacy. Intimacy is a deep connection. So you can be like in a relationship with somebody and not have intimacy. You can be connected with people. You can have sex with people and not have intimacy. And they're recognizing that. They're really recognizing how many ways that they've avoided intimacy in their heart space. They really want that. So what is the outcome that they desire with you? Beautiful. So self-respect. They're saying, like, they have this understanding that they want to embrace and increase their self-respect. You have encouraged them by your behavior, by your own self-respect, by pursuing your own highest good. You've inspired them. Even though they may not say that, they're recognizing what self-respect looks like. And so they want to be able to step up into their own self-respect. To thine own self be true, really is what I'm getting. That's the energy that they really want to be in. And so the outcome they want is to be a self-respecting person. That's partly why the chivalry came up. They want to be someone that they can be proud of. They want to be someone that they would be happy if they had children, that their child grew up to be just like them, or if their child married someone like them. That's what they want. They want to be able to look in the mirror and be happy with the person they see looking back. And part of that has been you waking them up to the fact that they haven't been. Now, this dating is not necessarily about going out and dating. What it is about is examining our patterns from the past. What have I done in the past? How has that worked out for me? How is that reflecting something about me? And so it's like they really want to be able to examine their patterns, and they also want to grow. They're recognizing on a certain level that this connection has called them to spiritual maturity, and so they're wanting to step into that. They're really wanting at this point to answer that call to spiritual maturity. They've been avoiding it in the past. They may be still avoiding it to a certain extent, but they hear it, and they really do, on a soul level, want that, want to grow and want to become better than what they've been. So let's move this aside, and I'm going to wrap this up with some final messages from their higher self to you. I feel like there's at least one or two more messages that want to come out, so. Okay. I'll take those. So the first message. Passion. A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. Next message. Beware of what you are projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. Next message. Forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Next message. A message for you. I'm thinking of you at this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. Final message. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. This to me always reminds me that it's like their higher self saying to you, like, I know that this is a soul connection. I recognize it. I want you to know that I recognize it. So that's your reading for this week. I hope that it helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. Take care.